It's just gone 5 on a Sunday morning, and after only 4 hours of sleep, the sun is starting to rise, so it's time to set out on another adventure. 100 kilometres was the goal, the route was unknown and the pace was irrelevant. The first goal, get out of Milton Keynes as quickly as possible so this adventure could well and truly begin. After snoozing my alarm one too many times this morning, I didn't have time for breakfast, so today's run was fueled by a banana, 6 energy gels, a couple of electrolyte tablets, 250 grams of pesto pasta and whatever else I could scavenge along the way. My first shop stop en route, and this one was just about topping up water supplies before getting back on the road. Back at it and making good progress, even if some of the footpaths were less obvious than others. 26 kilometres in, feeling alright, definitely not brought anywhere near enough food in. By this point, I'd started to have an idea of where I was heading for, St Neots in Cambridgeshire, but how I was going to get there was still anyone's guess, and I still had plenty of obstacles left to overcome. 33.3 kilometres in, a third of the way through, not even reached Biggleswade yet, I'm getting there. The footpaths were often wild and overgrown, meaning no one had been there for a while, and that always bodes well for a nature poo, which I may or may not have done once or twice. Marathon in, feeling alright, run out of water so I get some more in Barn Staple. I tried keeping the route as rural as possible throughout, but every once in a while I had to cross a sketchy road like this. Thankfully, I made it to Biggleswade in one piece, where I managed to find another shop to pick up some water, grab myself a twirl, fill up my bottles and get moving again. Freestyling the route as I went presented its own set of challenges. It meant I was relying on often outdated maps and having to carry my phone in my hand for the majority of the run, which led to moments like this. But thankfully, I wasn't in any kind of rush, which was just as well because my next hurdle was over 500 metres of overgrown trails, stinging nettles lashing at my legs. But sometimes you'll do whatever it takes to avoid turning back. After around the 65 kilometres mark, I finally made it to St Neots, and what started as the target destination ended up being just another pit stop at the shops. I stopped for a minute, plotted out a route back, and headed in the direction of Bedford. Still feeling pretty energised at this point, but the route back looked like a lot more roads than footpaths. It started to seem like every footpath I tried taking would either lead me down a dead end or was closed off completely, which is not what you want after 75 kilometres into a run. At this point, I'd grown tired of the footpath closed signs I kept encountering along the way, so I started getting a bit braver and taking a few more risks. At least I was heading in the right direction. My fourth and final stop on my corner shop tour through Buckinghamshire, Bedfordshire and Cambridgeshire, where I picked up some more water and grabbed one last 12 for the road. Because that's what it was going to be now. Pure road running with the occasional sprinkling of trails. As the rest of the route flitted from urban to rural and back again, it was hard to build any momentum. So it was just a case of putting my head down, turning off the distance on my watch and keep moving forward. The end was in sight as I started to see signs for Milton Keynes, but I still had to contend with about 8 kilometres along the A421, something I will definitely not be doing again in a hurry. I'd finally made it into Bedford, a place I'd never thought I'd be happy to see, and 15 hours later, the 100 kilometres was done. 100 kilometres done, and that is a wrap.